Hi everyone, I am Rosse Obusa and I'm one of the reporters. So into this video, we're going to tackle about the AUDIO-LINGUAL method. So what is AUDIO-LINGUAL method? So it is a method of foreign language teaching which emphasizes the teaching of listening and speaking before reading and writing. It uses dialogues as a main form of language presentation and drills as a main training techniques. And also, mother tongue is discouraged in the classroom. So it is a method used for teaching target language where students are made to listen to the teacher speak and then repeat after the teacher in order to learn the target language. The students learn how to respond correctly when they practice the drills. The AUDIO-LINGUAL method focuses on oral skills. It aims to improve students' speaking achievement. Language items are presented to students in spoken form without reference to the mother tongue so that they can learn language skills effectively. As I said earlier, listening and speaking are given priority in language teaching, and they precede reading and writing. Memorization and pattern drills are the practice techniques that are emphasized. So in ALM, no native language in classroom. The mother tongue is not used inside the class as the focus is on the target language. And actions, pictures, and realia are used to give meaning otherwise. And what I've said earlier also that it emphasizes spoken language. The use of language is a habit that need a lot of practice. Next is activities. There are two major types of activities in ALM. First is the mimicry, memorization of dialogues through repetition, and next is the pattern drills of grammatical structure. So, the former is to help students learn contextualized structures, vocabulary items, and pronunciation, as well as the cultural points. And the latter is to enhance automaticity, fluency, and accuracy in grammar. Next is the use of drills and pattern practice are the distinctive feature of the AUDIO-LINGUAL method. These are some kind of the drills often used. First is the repetition. The students repeat an utterance aloud as soon as they have heard it. They do this without looking at the printed text. The utterance must be brief enough to retain by the ear. Sound is important as form and order. For example, the teacher will say, I used to know him. So since it is repetition, the students will mimic or imitate what the teacher says. So the students will say, I used to know him. The teacher will say, I used to know him years ago. The students will repeat, I used to know him years ago. Next is the inflection. One word in an utterance appears in another form when repeated. So when the teacher say, I bought the ticket, and instructed the students to change the word tickets to its plural form, so the students will say, I bought the tickets. Next is when a teacher will say or utter the sentence, he bought the candy, and instruct the students to change the pronoun he with its opposite. So the students will say, she bought the candy. Next example is, I called the young man, and instruct the students to change the other form or the plural form of man. So the students say, I called the young man. Next is substitution. One word in an utterance is replaced by another. For example, the teacher will say, he bought this house cheap. Since it is substitution, the teacher can instruct the students to change the word house to its pronoun. So the students will say, he bought it cheap. Next, when teachers say, Helen left early, since the instruction was to substitute the noun by its pronoun, the students will say, she left early. Next is, they gave their boss a watch. So, substitute the noun by its pronoun again. So, the students will say, they gave him a watch.
Okay, next is completion. The student hears an utterance that is complete except for one word, then repeats the utterance in completed form. So, completion exercises involve filling in the missing words or phrases in a given sentence or dialogue. This exercise focuses on reinforcing grammatical structures and vocabulary acquisition. So, the learners are required to understand the context and apply their knowledge of grammar rules and vocabulary to complete the sentences correctly. This helps enhance their understanding of sentence structure and improves their ability to use the language accurately. Examples: Teacher, I'll go my way and you go. So, there is a missing word in a given sentence of the teacher. Student, I'll go my way and you go yours. So, the missing word there is yours. Teacher, we all have own troubles. There is a missing word also in a given sentence. Student, we all have our own troubles. Constantly, the missing word there is our. So, the student apply their knowledge of grammar rules and vocabulary to complete the sentences correctly. Next, transformation. A sentence is transformed by being made negative or interrogative or through changes in tense, mood, voice, aspect, or modality. And transformation also, on the other hand, involve changing a sentence from one form to another while preserving its meaning. So learners also are required to apply various rules of grammar and syntax to transform the given sentence into a different grammatical structure. This exercise helps develop a deeper understanding of sentence patterns and grammar rules. It also promotes creativity in sentence construction and encourages learners to think critically about the structure and meaning of sentences. Examples: Teacher, he knows my address. Student, he doesn't know my address. Teacher, does he know my address? Student, he used to know my address. So, both completion and transformation exercises play an essential role in the audiolingual method by providing learners with opportunities to practice and reinforce their language skills. These exercises help learners develop accuracy, fluency, and a deeper understanding of the structure and uses of the target language. What is the role of teacher? The teacher is like an orchestra leader directing and controlling the language behavior of his or her students. He or she also is responsible for providing his or her students with a good model for imitation. What is the role of student? Students are imitators of the teacher's model or the tips she supplies of model speakers. They follow the teacher's directions and respond as accurately and as rapidly as possible. Conclusion: the audiolingual method focuses on speaking and listening competence, tracing repetition, and habit formation to learn a second or a foreign language. This method makes the learner understand the second language by memorizing and practice speaking with drilling from the people communication.